Wow. Okay. Followers, welcome back to another Beginner's Champion Guide. Today we'll be covering Garen, and we're going to buy some starting items to get going here. So, with most champions, you just want to basically click on the shop and see what Riot recommends in terms of the best starting items. So we're going to stick to using the Doran Shield, 1 health potion, and a warding totem to begin with, and that's going to use up our $500 of starting gold, and we're going to run to a lane here. So while we run to lane, we're going to cover off Garen's passive, Perseverance. Basically, if you don't take damage for a little bit of time, in this case 8 seconds, we're going to regenerate some of our maximum health. Okay, so what this means in terms of playing Garen as a beginner is that if you take some damage in lane and you lose some health and you're kind of feeling like, whoa, you know, I'm a really low health, I should go back to base and, you know, heal up, you don't have to with Garen. You can run away from the fight, usually hang out just behind your tower over here, and you'll see that you're regenerating your health when you see this icon come up and the green glow in your character starts to show. So that just basically means you're going to be gaining back some health over time, which is awesome. Alright? The first ability we're going to learn on Garen is Decisive Strike. So when you press Q using Decisive Strike, you basically gain a little bit of speed and you also do a little bit more damage with your auto attack. And remember, auto attacks are just from right clicking on enemy champions or minions. So when you press Q with Garen, you're going to do a little bit more damage, you're going to move a bit faster, and you're going to see that speech box come up on the enemy champion. That means that you silence them. So his Q is a great ability. It gives you speed, it gives you damage, and it also silences the enemy champion, which means they can't cast any spells or abilities for that time. So you're going to see it again, Q, he jumps into the air a little bit and does that really big auto attack animation, and it's going to silence them. So this is a great ability to kind of spam whenever it's up, and Garen is a champion with no mana, which makes him really, really good for beginners again, because you don't have to worry about managing another aspect of resource in this game. So your Q's up, you're going to press it, you're going to run into the champion, and you're going to deal some damage. When you hit level 2, the second ability you want to use with Garen is your E, okay, Judgment. This basically lets Garen spin in a circle, and it hits anybody in that circle with damage and reduces their armor. So if your enemy champion even has armor, from staying in that circle long enough, you'll reduce it and deal even more damage. So a basic trading pattern with Garen is to use your Q to run faster to an enemy champion, hit them, and then press E to follow up that with more damage. Alright, remember your Q silences, so that means that if you silence them, you catch up to them and you hit them, and then you can just spin on them, you're going to deal a lot of damage. Garen is really, really overpowered in this way, especially because now after we do a trade, we kind of gain back any of that health that we lost. So while you're trading onto the enemy champion and dealing damage to them, you run out after and you gain all that health back. So you can just see, really simple, press Q, run towards them, press E, deal a bunch of damage, run away. You want to keep your trades short and sweet with Garen. You don't want to stay in for too long, especially as you're learning him, because you don't have to. You just keep whittling them down with Q, E, and then run away and kind of heal up a little bit. Okay, so we'll show that one more time. Q, E, and you can just deal that damage. If you get them low enough, you can try and go for the kill. Okay, great. Ran away. Perfect. That's fine, right? And that's going to be your basic laning with Garen. You're going to try and Q into them, you're going to press E, you're going to deal a lot of damage and run away. If you press your E a second time after you press it the first time, it stops the spin short. I'd recommend, as you're learning him, don't worry about trying to stop the spin short. Let it run its full duration. It doesn't slow your character's movement down. It just continues to deal damage. You may start to try and cut this shorter as you get better, depending on how you want to manage the minion wave, but we won't get into that in this video. Okay? The third ability here that we can learn with Garen before his R ultimate is W, Courage. When you press W, you gain a small shield for a couple seconds, and you also gain tenacity. Tenacity in this game allows you to essentially reduce the length of crowd control or stuns or slows. So it's a shield, plus it makes sure somebody can't hold you in one spot for too long. So now that we have the W, we're going to add that into our basic trading pattern. So we're going to press Q, E, and W. Alright, and this is what it looks like. Q, E, and W at the same time. Okay? So you generally want to use your W in each of your trades just to make sure you don't take too much damage. Again, the better you get with the shield and the W, you have a little bit of playmaking ability and you can use it at specific times. But in general, Q, E, W. Alright, so now that we have level 5, we can put a few more points in abilities. I'd recommend maxing out your E, so we're going to drop a few more in that. And the reason is it lets you clear out minion waves as well. So if you just press E and take your hands off the keyboard, you can essentially, what a lot of people hate about Garen is spin to win. And what I mean hate is the enemies hate it. You can just press E and deal a bunch of damage to minions, so you don't have to worry about last hitting to get that gold like I just did there. You can just press E on them and it'll kill all of them as you level up E and give you that gold. If you miss, you can just do a couple last hits there. You can also use your Q like I just did to make sure you get a cannon minion, which is worth a lot of gold. You can press your Q to ensure you get the last hit on that cannon minion and get that gold. Okay, so that brings us to level 6. Now we can learn our ultimate ability, our Demacian Justice. This is essentially a massive sword strike from Garen. He jumps up into the air, screams a bunch of things, and hits the enemy champion with a really hard execution style damaging ability. And why it's an executional style ability is the less health that they have, the more damage that it does. So you want to try and use Garen's ultimate at the end of a combo, or when the enemy champion has about 25% health left. You want to press R on them with your cursor hovering over them to kind of deal that final blow. So we're going to go into our normal trade pattern here, which is QEW, and see what happens in terms of health. QEW, so we're going to run him down, we're going to follow him with our E, and now run away. Okay, there's no point in staying too much longer. So we see that that combo dealt about 25% of his health. So what it's going to look like now is we're going to clear out this minion wave, again, get all that gold from last hitting with our E, and we're going to just try and keep whittling down this enemy champion with Q, E combos until he's in an execute range. Q, E, follow him, keep dealing that damage. Great, he's at half health. We'll let him kind of do his own thing, run away one more time. We'll get some last hits here, right? We're going to use our Q to last hit this cannon minion here. Q, see, ensure you get that last hit. And then we're going to try and go into another trade combo and see if we can kill this guy now. Okay? So Q, E, W, and if we can, R at the end. Okay? So Q, E, W. Okay, couldn't get him. Probably in the next one. Alright? Now you'll notice too with Garen, it's okay to take a couple turret shots if you absolutely need to while you're trying to do a trade favorably, because look, Perseverance is up and we're already healing. Okay? Q, E, run away. Alright, this looks really bad, right? It looks really bad. We just need to wait maybe a minute and we're going to get enough health back that we'll probably be able to kill this Taric in lane. So he's going to get really aggressive. Your enemy champs might do that as well, but you can see the green glow is going, the icon is here, we're regenerating health. Okay? You can also use your potion like this and gain back some health as well. Sit back, relax for a second. Alright? On this rotation, we likely will be able to kill him if he stays. Okay? So, Q, E, W, R. Right? Easy. That's exactly how you want to execute the combo on Garen. It's very straightforward. Look at our health. We're almost back to full health. Just a minute ago, we were almost dead. So you want to make sure you just use some patience with Garen. Let his passive do the work for you. Clear out minion waves with E and execute on straightforward combos using your Q, E, W, and then R if appropriate. Okay, now that we've killed them and we have some gold, we're going to go back and start to build towards our first full item. And we'll talk about some more item while we get to the shop. So, generally when you're buying, you want to try and spend as much as your gold as possible. And again, we'll just simply follow the starting, early, and essential items here in the shop that are recommended for us. So, we're going to buy this phage. That's worth $12.50, and we have some gold left. So we could buy boots, or we could buy the Kindle gem. I want to spend as much of this as I can so I can bring as much extra items back with me to lane and be really powerful. So I'm going to buy the Kindle gem, and I almost have enough money left for the boots. So if you're ever in this spot where you just almost have it, just wait in base for a couple seconds. You get kind of a little bit of gold every few seconds. Buy the boots, and that's perfect. We got all of our extra starting items to go back to base now. Or, sorry, back to lane now. So after you max out your E, the next one you want to try and do is your Q. Obviously your R whenever you can as well. Okay, so we're going to run right back into this tarp with our basic trading combo, which is Q, E, W, and we're going to see how much damage we do to him now. So Q, follow up, E, okay, great stun by him, and W. Alright, so again you can see he lost about 25% of his health from our combo, and we're completely fine. So we're going to follow up again. Q, E. Okay, we're just going to keep following up with that. You don't have to wait for your W to be up to do the combo every time. It's just an extra benefit if you have that shield available. So here we have an opportunity to max out a skill. We'll max out E. Alright? So let's go for another follow-up combo here, and we'll kill him. What we'll do to this combo now as well is we'll add an additional element that lets you cover even more ground and maybe surprise your champion. So you can press the F key if you tie it to this to use flash, and flash lets you blink a little bit of distance. So you can flash to cover a little bit of distance, Q onto them, E, and then R, so it lets you kind of surprise them. Alright, so we'll try that on the next engagement here when he comes out to kind of surprise him with some damage. Okay, so flash, Q, E, R. Oh, just got away with that one. Alright, what you can tie in for some extra damage as well, to be fancy, is Ignite. I'd always recommend using Flash Ignite while you're learning Garen to begin with, because you don't have to use Teleport to come back and forth to lane if you're using your passive properly. So what I should have done there, and what you should look to do, if you ever have a champion with a little bit of health left after your combo, you can press the D key on them and ignite them for the finishing kill as well. Alright, so we're going to use our E here to finish off these minions. You can see now, because we maxed it out, we're able to last hit all those minions effectively. We're going to use our Q to secure the cannon minion, and if you want, you can take some plates when you bully your enemy laner out like this. Generally, I'd recommend backing and buying when you have about 1,000 to 1,500 gold. Okay? If you're at full health and you're under 1,000 gold, you don't need to rush to go back. You can kind of stay in lane and bully them a little bit longer. So we're going to QE him again. Alright, and I'll show you. You can even trade with Garen under the turret, the enemy turret, and take a few shots, and it won't matter that much. So Q, E, W, and we're going to back out. So you can see, even though we attacked him under his turret, because of Garen's W and his passive, he's losing about 25% of his health on every trade, and we're going to get back up to full. So same combo again, Q, E, and then up. Okay? Generally 1 or 2 turret shots when you're past level 6 is acceptable. I wouldn't take too many more than that though. We're going to do one more all-in combo with him again with the Demacian Justice, just to show you guys a final kill and how you can kind of use the combo together effectively. And that last combo is again the all-in combo. What you're going to use to try and kill your opponents, you're going to use Q, E, W to stop some damage while you're doing the all-in if you need to, and then your R. Okay? So here he is. We're going to let him try and come out. If he doesn't come out, that's fine. You can always just push the wave under the enemy tower as well and still kill them there. Okay, so Q, keep following, W, R. There you go. Alright, so the better you get with Garen, the more champs you play, you'll start to learn how much damage your R does to different champions in different situations, and you just get a feel for kind of how powerful it is and how low of health they need to be killed by your R. Alright, so we'll push this in one more time. We'll take one more plate. You can use your Q on towers to deal damage as well. The Q adds extra damage to your auto attacks on towers, which is great. Your E does nothing to towers, so I would not recommend using your E while you're under the tower. Simply use your auto attacks and your Q. Okay, I'm going to quickly check to see if we have enough gold to buy our first item, which is going to be Black Cleaver. We do, so I'm going to press B and go back to base here and buy the Black Cleaver. Now, I'll just spend the last couple minutes of this video talking about why you'll build Black Cleaver as a first item as you're learning Garen. Black Cleaver is great because it gives you 400 health, 40 attack damage, and cooldown reduction. Garen is a champion that is meant to be played in kind of the thick of things. He's a melee champion. You're going to get in there, you're going to take some damage, so the health is great. The attack damage is great because, again, we are looking to still trade and deal a lot of damage to champions in melee range. And then the last aspect of it, the cooldown reduction, because Garen is manaless and you can just spam his abilities, cooldown is great on Garen because that means you can use use all of your abilities even more often. So our Q now, you can see, is going to come up every 6 seconds. Our E is going to come up every 7 seconds. Q, E, W, awesome. So that means with these cooldowns, basically every 7 seconds, we can deal almost 50% of Tarek's health. So you want to try and, especially while you're learning Garen, build the black cleaver first. Q, E, ignite this time. We'll add that R. Okay? So that's Garen in a nutshell. I'd highly recommend picking him up and giving him a go as a beginner. He can be very versatile. You can play him in the top lane, you can play him in the middle, you could potentially even play him in the jungle if you wanted to. You could even play him in the bot lane if you have the right support champion. But he's a great champ that lets you learn the game and focus on some of the bigger aspects like trading patterns, and as you get better, minion wave management and things like taking turrets and turret diving and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys have fun with Garen. That's going to be it for this guide. I'll catch you in the next one.